Hey there, you insect and animal geeks. Welcome back to another episode of the Insect Nerd, where I talk about amphibians. Well, it's not the obvious choice, is it? Sorry, he's really not a bit naughty. Obviously, by the title, it says Insect Nerd, so I do have a load of insects. I mainly talk about insects, like the beetles I've got, but I also talk about my lovely white tree frog, Neville. Luna's also a white tree frog, my crested gecko Pharaoh, and I talk about other things as well because I love all wildlife, all animals really, but I am heavily insect focused, and I do love to include my amphibians in that. So I know the name is the Insect Nerds, however I think of it as exotic animals and mostly insects, I suppose, and inverts. But anyway, let's just kick straight into it. So obviously I'm new. I've done a couple of videos on here, so go and have a look at them if you haven't seen them. My last one was about beetle grubs, so go and see the beetle grub video. It's amazing. They've got the fantastic sort of Megsoma elephas, or the elephant beetle grubs. They are huge. But now we're going to talk about you, mister. So this is Neville. I named him after Neville Longbottom from Harry Potter. I am a Harry Potter fan, yes. Any fans out there, comment. And I just want to talk about his story really, because, and frog behaviour in general, because a lot of people get frogs thinking, oh, they're not going to be very fussy because that's what's written down on all these fact sheets. But actually, this one here, he's had fussy days. He went as a young baby. He did sort of struggle with eating, mainly because he was very ill for a long time. He did choke on something. I think you choked on some dirt, didn't you? Because you weren't very good at hunting back then. He's a bit embarrassed. He's turning his back. But yeah, so he was very ill for some time when he was a baby. He was throwing up for 3 days. I was so worried. I finally got him to eat when I hand fed him, and ever since he's been fine. He's had those odd days where he's a little bit slow compared to Luna, who is bigger than him because they're female. Female frogs are a lot bigger. But other than that, he's very sprightly. He's doing well for himself. The males are always sort of slightly bigger than females. I think sorry, the males are slightly smaller than females, so that's why he is smaller compared to Luna, if you ever see my photos. But he's doing well with himself. He's eating well by himself, mad. He doesn't really like me feeding him by hand. Some white tree frogs do, some don't. So if yours doesn't take crickets and stuff, then don't be offended. If your frog is ever in a situation where Neville was, where he wasn't eating and they wouldn't feed with tongs, I would call the vet straight away. I was very lucky, and I was about to call the vets and ask them to help me, but he started eating on sort of the night of the 3rd day, or no, the night of the 4th day. So he ate in the end. Sometimes feeding, they could get bored. So for example, he went from locusts to wanting crickets again, and it can really vary. So just sort of watch what they eat, and they are nocturnal. Some people do feed their frogs during the day, which I don't really agree with, just because they are nocturnal and they're more likely to be hunting on the ground during the night, not during the day. They're going to be sleeping, especially this one. He loves his sleep, don't you? You're a bit like mum in that respect. Yeah, don't be, if just obviously notice your behaviours in your frogs. Like for example, I know that Luna is very boisterous. She wants food all the time. She's very greedy. She really goes for food, whereas Neville, it's very natural for him not to eat as much. So he might not eat certain things, and that might not be necessarily because he's ill. It's just because it's him. He doesn't eat like every single thing, so he's quite fussy. He doesn't really like waxworms. A lot of people say, oh, all white tree frogs do like waxworms, but that's not always the case. They like different things, just like us. Some people might like pasta. I mean, everybody likes pasta. That's a bad example. and some people might hate it. I can't imagine that, but you know, it's a bit like that. So you know, behaviour wise, I think, you know, white tree frogs are great. They're very entertaining. One of the things that you probably have heard of is projectile peeing. So sometimes if they get a bit nervous or skittish, or sometimes they just do it, you know, they just like to pee on you, and it just goes everywhere. So be warned. They don't do it all the time. They've got better doing it. I bet you will do it in a minute when I said they've got better doing not by not doing it. He doesn't do that an awful lot, do you? No. They're very gorgeous species of white tree frog. Easy to handle. I will probably do a separate video on handling. I don't want to do it too long. I don't want to stress him out. I know I can sort of go on a tangent, so I'm trying not to do that. But they're very easy to handle. I'm handling it without gloves, mainly because I've been struggling to get hold of gloves, and they are very expensive. Ever since the COVID, I've struggled to actually get some, but it's all right to hold them without gloves, as long as your hands are free of things like sort of, you know, soap, chemicals. Make sure you wash your hands nicely, wash all the soap off properly, obviously, and spray your hands with dechlorinated water. Chlorinated water will harm them. In fact, it will kill them. Their skin is very sensitive. They drink through their skin. I know it's weird, right? I like when I found out about that, I was like, what? Whoa, no way! They drink through their skin. That's weird. But yeah, they are very entertaining, very charismatic. Neville is looking at the camera. He is shy, but at the same time, sometimes when he does films with me, he's just like, hey, what's up? Yes, he's a very cheeky frog. He is very active, even though he's a small frog. Well, he's not really small, but you used to be a little small boy, didn't you? You're very naughty. They are all very naughty, really, in my personal view. Luna's not as naughty. You're going to face the camera. I would say compared to most amphibians, they're just very, very gentle, and I would really recommend them as actually a beginner frog species. I'd like to keep so many more frogs. It's just, the only thing is, I've probably gone through this over in care, is that they are just very sort of, they're not tricky to care for exactly, but it can be quite time consuming if you have other reptiles and stuff as well, that is, and then you have a full job or you go to uni or whatever, etc. But yeah, handling wise, I will go into in depth another time, but don't handle them too much, it will stress them out. So don't handle them more than 3 times a week, I would say. I like to leave mine alone, just because I know they get stressed quite easily, especially this little guy here. He's doing so well. So yeah, but behaviour wise, I think they're fantastic, really. And this was just sort of a short video just to get back into it, and show you this lovely little handsome boy. Yeah. Also, what behaviour wise, actually a really important thing to note is, if you're struggling to tell gender, males normally have a louder croak, and they have something called a vocal sac. So it's not there now, it's really flat, but when they croak, their throat swells right up, and you notice when it's last called the frog, when it's, you know, when it's croaked, because it will sort of be a dark greyish colour. Also, males are a lot smaller than females, but then again, sometimes females might have issues feeding as well. So it might not, you know, might be that females having struggling to eat and may not necessarily be, you know, male. But yeah, I could tell, I think within the first sort of year I had him, he started croaking, and normally they take a bit longer than that to croak. They take about maybe until they're adults, but sometimes in rare cases they croak when they're like, oh, a year or so old. You're naughty. But yeah, he's like, the females are much bigger, greedier, they tend to be. I don't know if all of them are, but that's my experience. But yeah, I'll probably do another behaviour video, because this was just sort of behaviour lowdown, just to show Neville off and sort of do another video to sort of say hello again, I'm back. But yeah, if you want to, excuse me, I need to get my frog. I'm really sorry about that, he just jumped out of nowhere. As I said, really cheeky. But if you want to go on my website and have a look at sort of care on these guys, or on other insects such as beetles, Coleoptera as we say in entomology, then go to my website www.theinsectnerd.co.uk. If you want to follow these guys on other things on my Instagram, please follow me at theinsectnerd97. And I'm on TikTok. I'm not fantastic at it, but I'm very new to it, but I'm really enjoying it. So if you want to follow me on TikTok, I'm just literally the Insect Nerd, but I'll put some links at the bottom, I think. But yeah, thank you so much, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks, bye.